Hey family, it's me, Dr. Chris, and I'm just here in Tiburon, California, just overlooking the San Francisco Bay here. And in today's episode of Dr. Chris TV, you're gonna learn about how to overcome envy in your life. Most people use the words envy and jealousy interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. So just to clarify, envy is the feeling that you want what someone else has that you think you don't have. And jealousy is the feeling that you want to protect what you believe is yours. For example, let's say that a person is comparing how much money they're making to the people in their social circle. Now, if the person's left feelings of bitterness and resentment because the other people are making more money than they are, then that would be an example of feeling envious. Now, an example of jealousy would be if a person is overprotective of their girlfriend because she's laughing at another guy's jokes. Well, he may feel that he's going to lose her to other guys. Now, that would be an example of jealousy. So I'm in Sausalito, California right now, and let's continue our discussion on envy, because envy can be crystal clear, like wanting the job promotion that someone else has or designer clothing that you see another person wearing. But it also can be less clear, like being envious of a famous movie star. We've got a dark side to our envy, and we've also got the adaptive parts of our envy, but the dark side could lead to resentment and discontent. It could lead to distress, and even some people into a downward spiral of depression. But like I said, all emotions have both their adaptive and maladaptive sides to them. So let's continue our discussion in the next section on the adaptive purposes of envy. So envy can be a real cue to help us direct our efforts and directions in life. Envy is worth paying attention to and what it's doing inside of ourselves, because there's a subconscious reason that causes us to envy particular things when we feel envious. So this can be hard for a lot of people to admit to ourselves as well, because of the shame that we experience that's associated with it. For example, a person may feel ashamed for envying a celebrity that they see on a tabloid while they're waiting in line at the grocery store. And what is this about? Perhaps the person has an underlying unconscious need to be seen more in life. We should not be ashamed of our envy and bury it. We can identify the reasons why we are envious of something to understand ourselves better, so we can actualize ourselves and take an action step towards fulfilling that need. So let's begin exercise number 1, and I want you to identify the area that's causing you most difficulties in relation to envy. And I want you to think about where it's a pattern that's a reoccurring issue for you in your life. And I want you to ask yourself, how much is envy affecting my relationships with my family members, people I work with, and friends, etc.? So keep in mind, as long as we're human, we're all going to be envious of other people at some point in our life. So let's start off by accepting that we feel envious at times, and I feel envy, you feel envy, we all feel envy, okay? So let's start. So these are the areas in people's lives that cause them the most envy. So all I want you to do is just identify one area in your life that's causing you most difficulties that's related to envy. So area number 1 would be the talents of others. Now, sometimes we see people who have great and amazing talents that are close to us, and we also envy what they do because we wish that we could do what they're doing. So that's area number 1, the talents of others. Okay, area number 2, and that is envy between family members. And you usually see this in the form of one family member believing that others are receiving some sort of special treatment or favoritism. Now, I've seen this happen before that's actually destroyed families. And usually you see this between siblings, and one person believes that another person is receiving some sort of favoritism or special attention. And this can cause a lot of difficulties if it's not addressed and dealt with properly. So that is envy between family members and believing that there's some sort of favoritism or special treatment being involved. So area number 3, and that is money. Now this is an obvious one because I'm sure we've all experienced it at least at one point in our life where we feel envious that another person is making more money than we do, or that someone already has more money than we do. Okay, area number 4, and that is other people's romantic relationships. Have you ever felt envious when you saw the happy couple at a party holding hands, or a happy couple just laughing it up and just, you can see how much in love they are with each other? Well, perhaps that's an area of your life that's causing difficulties, and that is feeling envious about other people's romantic relationships. Okay, area number 5, and that is the appearance of others. Now, I see this a lot where people are on Instagram and they're just quite envious of how other people look, wishing that they looked exactly like them. And I also hear people talking in the gym, you know, wishing they had the glutes another person had, or the biceps another person had, or the six-pack abs another person has. So this is really important because it can cause us a lot of distress if we're constantly being envious of other people's appearance. Okay, number 6, and that is other people's achievements at school or work. And now, last one, number 7, and that is other people's social success. That is feeling envious of looking at the great social relationships that other people have and wishing that you had the same great social circle that others have, had same connections and friends that others have. So that would be number 7. So those are the areas where people feel most envy in their lives, and I want you to identify the one area for you where you feel that there's a reoccurring pattern of envy. So now let's talk about strategies to productively use envy in our life rather than having it consume us. And remember what I said earlier, that envy is a cue for us to pay attention to perhaps where we should direct our efforts in life. Okay, so the first strategy is competition, and competition can act as a spur for us to development in areas where we want to succeed in that other people also want to succeed in as well. So this really allows us to draw out the best from ourselves, and competition doesn't have to be negative all the time. You know, like I said, competition allows us to draw out the best from ourselves. So we see this in all areas of life. For example, you know, the iPhone versus the Samsung Galaxy, Serena Williams versus her sister Venus Williams, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. You know, these were all people who are in competition with each other, including organizations, and allows them to push themselves even further to develop better products and to develop their skills in life. So I want you to ask yourself this question: if you feel that competition will help you develop more in life, what can I learn from the person that I'm in competition with? So the next strategy is emulation, and this is when there's someone that is above and beyond a particular area in life that you also want to develop as well. And you're not imitating them, but you're learning from them and you're bringing in your own life experiences and your personalities into whatever it is that you're learning from them. Basically, you're trying to aspire to be like them, but you're also bringing your own authentic self into the picture. So, for example, they also make you think beyond what you thought was possible. When I was learning therapy, and I'm still continuing to develop myself as a therapist each and every day, I had certain mentors that did therapy in a way that I had no idea which was possible. For example, when I trained in hypnotherapy with Randall Churchill or emotion-focused therapy with Leslie Greenberg, when I saw these guys do therapy, it was amazing the profound healing that they did, and to think to myself, wow, maybe I can do that as well. And so stand on the shoulders of giants and also bring in your own personality as well. So that's emulation. Okay, so the next strategy is mimetic desire. And this is, we desire what someone else desires. Now, just think of it this way. Have you ever seen one child and they're playing with a truck, and then all of a sudden another child wants the same truck even though he or she had no interest in that same toy? Well, it's one kid's desire triggers another child's desire. Well, we still have this as adults when we see other people, they desire something and we want to desire the same thing as well, because it triggers something within us that perpetuates us to want to do something, want to accomplish something. So for example, let's say I have a family member and they go get a master's degree, and I myself want to get a master's degree too, because that triggers that desire within myself. Or let's say I'm having a healthy lifestyle, I'm getting in shape, I'm eating healthy, that may trigger someone else's desire to live a healthy lifestyle as well. So that would be mimetic desire. So mimetic comes from like the word mimic. So the next strategy is being grateful for what you've got. There's a lot of research in the positive psychology field showing how gratitude, being appreciative of what you have in life, helps with so many areas of life. And it also helps with dealing with emotions of envy. So what you're doing is you're focusing inward and taking a look at what it is that you have going on that's good in your life. So rather than focusing on what you don't have, you're focusing on what you do have and the good things that are going on for you. You want to maybe take 2 minutes a day just to think of all the things you're grateful for that day and jot them down in a journal, maybe at the beginning of the day or before you go to bed at night, and just reflect on the great things that you have going on for yourself. So that's how you can cultivate gratitude in every day of your life. So the next strategy is self-comparison. This is when you're comparing yourself to yourself rather than focusing outward on what other people are doing and what they are achieving in life. So you are looking at your own growth, you're looking at your own achievements and see how you're progressing rather than constantly focusing on what other people are doing. Now, that could cause a lot of emotional turmoil for some to constantly be comparing and envying how other people are doing, because there's always going to be people who are doing better than us, and there's always going to be people who are doing worse than us in life. So sometimes it may be in our best interest to focus inward at our own progress. So for example, I know this one person, he was making $45,000 a year, and then a few months later, he got a job where he was making $85,000 a year. That's a $40,000 pay increase. However, he was not satisfied because he was still focusing on people who are making more than him in the same field. When I got him to refocus his attention on his own progress, he was able to let go of that envy that he felt towards others, because he was able to notice that he was actually making progress towards his financial goals in life. So remember, compare yourself to yourself if that would be a strategy for you, and looking at your own progress and growth. The next strategy would be to practice wishing well onto others for their happiness, success, and achievements. The thing with envy is that we feel bitterness, anger, and resentment towards other people's happiness. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense, because the people that we feel envy towards are the ones that are closest to us in some way, or we have some kind of relationship with them. So for example, if you have a coworker that got the job promotion that you want, congratulate them. This will help you feel less resentment, bitterness, and anger towards them in the long run. If you have a friend and they're in a beautiful relationship, express that to them. Expressing that and wishing well onto others will reduce envy in the long run. So remember, we tend to envy those who are more like us and in closer proximity to us. We are attracted to those people because we see something inside of them that we're also trying to give birth to. So we need someone that's like us to start moving our internal compass in that direction, because we can use them as a spur to our development to actualize our potential. There's enough joy, there's enough opportunities around us all the time to meet new people, create new relationships, and to achieve the things that we want to achieve in life. So I don't want you to go in that scarcity mindset that there's not enough, because the truth is you are enough. I'm proud of you that you are taking action to use these skills that we've been working on today to ignore all the noise that's out there from marketers and advertisers who are honing in on people's insecurities, telling them that they need more and that they're not enough. But the truth is, you are enough. Remember that. All right, thank you, family. I'm so happy and grateful we got to go on this journey together, and that you are an action taker, constantly working on yourselves to improve yourself each and every day. And now I want to hear from you. In the comment section below, write the area of envy that you're struggling with and the strategy that you're going to use to overcome that. So once again, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. All right, thank you.